Hello there. The point of this video is to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of when we started working on our upcoming Red vs. Blue fan series, Silence Kills. It has been a long, bumpy road to get where we are, and we have not yet started filming, so we can't show off anything in terms of footage. But what we can show off is some behind the scenes. On screen now is each of our main characters and their specific armor designs. Walter Henderson, fairly normal guy. One day he decided to join the military, eventually found himself stationed at Valhalla. Things are going as well as they could, all things considered, but then one day a pelican crash lands nearby. This seemingly random incident is only the beginning of what will soon become a nightmare. Most of Walter's comrades in Puma Squad do not suspect much, but Walter has a gut feeling that there is much more at play than what they think. Lieutenant Hutch McAllister, head of the Red Soldiers stationed at Valhalla. While McAllister may put on a content face, deep down he feels alone. This is due to the fact that McAllister is the only British soldier stationed at Valhalla, and therefore can't find anyone else to drink tea with. Once things start happening in Valhalla, McAllister must rally Puma Squad and the other Reds, but without knowing what they're really up against, McAllister can only hope everything works out for the better. Sergeant Jacob Kaboom Buckshot is the leader of Puma Squad and second in command to Lieutenant Hutch McAllister. Buckshot is as dedicated a soldier as you can find, and in his mind, the only good blue is a dead blue. One day a pelican crashes at Valhalla and opens a can of worms that just can't seem to be closed. While McAllister seems not too worried about the strange occurrences, Buckshot agrees with Walter. There's definitely something else going on. Jason Kilgore is certainly a skilled soldier. There's no doubt about that. What sometimes worries his fellow soldiers is his seemingly endless bloodlust and yearn for glorious conquest. Kilgore is the expert marksman of Puma Squad and rarely misses a shot. Some even say he would make a better mercenary than a soldier. When strange events keep unfolding at Valhalla, Puma Squad can sleep soundly at night, knowing Kilgore will probably kill anything approaching the base before it even has a chance to speak. Dennis Matthews, the top engineer of Puma Squad, goes around using an alien gun he found in the desert and managed to get working again. Dennis is also the nerd of the group, and despite always getting rejected, keeps asking his fellow soldiers if they're up for starting a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. When odd occurrences begin happening, Dennis relies on logic to attempt explaining what's going on, but his explanations aren't enough for Walter and Buckshot. Ralph Montague, the heavy weapons expert of Puma Squad. Ralph can often be seen wielding his weapon of choice, the Spanker rocket launcher. In his youth, Ralph was an avid player of the sport Griffball, but was forced to stop playing after his 10th concussion. When strange events keep popping up at Valhalla, Ralph firmly believes in his theory that it's a ghost messing with them, but none of his fellow soldiers buy into it. Mark Raymond is just sort of there. He's a decent soldier, but doesn't really possess any special talent or skill like the other members of Puma Squad. Mark's favorite drink is Coca-Cola, and his favorite pastime, to the point where it's pretty much an obsession, is to admire the architecture of various walls he comes across while stationed at Valhalla. Mark really doesn't have much of an opinion when it comes to the crazy things happening in Valhalla, which kinda concerns Walter since any normal person would be freaking out at everything they've been going through. In terms of where Silence Kills takes place in the RVB timeline, it all happens in the days leading up to Red vs. Blue Season 6. So if you want a little tease of what's coming, watch Walter's conversation with the counselor in the first episode of Season 6, since that is what we based our outline on when writing Silence Kills. In terms of where we are progress-wise, all 6 episodes are written. I've been hard at work planning out scenes as well as getting things prepped in-game with Forge, and we're also in the thick of the voice acting stage. While I can't promise anything, my hope is to at least start filming Silence Kills by the end of the year. Due to where we are in production, I just can't say when Silence Kills will finally release. But Silence Kills isn't the only thing being cooked up behind the scenes, so I guess I'll talk a little about some other upcoming projects. The first big machinima I made, which was also my high school senior project, Talent Squad, was tons of fun to work on, and in my opinion turned out pretty well. I know the story had a nice conclusion, but now that some time has passed, I feel the need to continue Talent Squad's story, which I will do in the upcoming project, A New Beginning. Not much progress has been made with A New Beginning, but what I can say is that there will be a bit of a time gap. 2 years after the events of Talent Squad, Falco, Deadeye, Slicer, and Joker have become their own squad, and they're the sort of squad that only gets called in for vital assignments. They've also picked up a new recruit, CT-4422, also known as Dune, who is the team's pilot and flies them in and out of missions with their ship that has been dubbed Sovereign. Another upcoming project I've brainstormed is called Absolute Points. If you aren't familiar with Project 863, I linked it in the description and highly recommend checking it out. Absolute Points will essentially be like Marvel's What If show on Disney Plus, and will explore various absolute points in the many timelines within the world of Project 863, and see what could happen if even one little thing gets changed. The third and final big project I've brainstormed is Hunted, a Red vs. Blue fan series. If you've watched RVB, you know one of the biggest mysteries is what the heck happened to freelancer Agent Georgia. While this question will probably go unsolved for however long RVB sticks around, I intend to tell my story of what happened to him after that jetpack incident. Similar to the other 2 projects, I can't say a whole lot, but what I will say is Georgia won't be alone in this story. He will be joined by the forgotten AI fragment of Alpha, simply known as Z, who, to our knowledge, has never actually appeared in RVB, but was apparently a requirement to achieve meta stability. As you can probably guess by the title, Hunted, Georgia and Z's objective is to survive by any means necessary. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you all for being patient as we slowly but surely make progress on Silence Kills. I'm very excited and cannot wait to finally put it all together. I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes preview of Silence Kills, as well as a little look ahead to what's coming in the future.